Okay. All right. There we go. Hello. Hello. Just getting things ready for the live. I'm going to chit chat a little bit until, a few more people can come in. Um, it's foggy as usual here, and I feel like I'm in winter, and I'm so tired. It just makes me feel like sleeping. Anyway, it has been that way for weeks, and it happens. It happens like that here near San Francisco. It's typical. We only get a really good summer at the coast the last two, you know, um, couple of weekends, couple of weeks of August and September. First couple of weeks, if we're really lucky. So I see that someone has made a comment while I'm getting my lotion on my hands so they're not so dry. How are you guys doing? Happy Sunday. Hi, Isadora. How are you doing? I'm getting my heating pad here. Yeah, I know that probably sounds really crazy to some of you in warmer places. But I'm getting my heating pad, getting it all comfy. Because I'm kind of crazy. I open the skylights while I do this. I kind of like fresh air, but I don't like being cold. Hey, Sasha Sullivan, how are you? Thanks for joining us. Tonight, I'm going to be discussing, and I want you to share, like unusual experiences that you've had. If you've had just things you couldn't explain, spiritual happenings, which I've had a number of. Hey, Ash, nice to see you here. And we're going to be talking about that, and I'll be sharing your stuff. I'll just, I'll be kicking it off with a few stories of my own, and we'll just kind of see how things go and see how people come in. But I guess I could go ahead and start out. We've got 5 people coming on in here, and that's good. Let me just get my coffee going here. You know what? I should also take my antihistamine. I took my pain relief tablet, but I forgot my antihistamine. And this, if you live in my area, is an absolute must. I'm sure many of you out there and elsewhere deal with the allergies as well. Not fun. Otherwise, I find myself clearing my throat a lot. Sorry if I do that. Okay. So I thought that, like I said, we begin by sharing some experiences growing up or just throughout our life that we've had. When I was very little, I mean really little, we moved. I had just been born, actually. We moved to Missouri. I was conceived in Lincoln, Nebraska, but born in St. Joseph, Missouri. And as you know, there's a lot of old homes around, of course, the East Coast to the Midwest, because that was settled first in America or stolen by settlers. And there's one of the houses I grew up in was bought by a doctor. And this was probably around this is information that I came to find because I love to, little details. I love to look and find and get the backup once I was older, but, and talking to my parents and other people. But this was in St. Joseph, Missouri, home of the Pony Express that rode out to Sacramento, California here. I'm going to star your comments. And this house had been built by this doctor, and he brought his family in. It was really nice, quite nice. And right now it's on the historic St. Joseph, Missouri registry of homes, and they sometimes give out haunted tours. And I just about fell out of my chair when I saw that our landlady's now much older daughter was giving these tours with her brother, and that they were living there. And I thought, oh man, because my whole family experienced things in this house, and it was probably built around it was after the Civil War, so probably around, I think, like 18 after 1865. I know that much from what I read. Anyhow, this doctor was working out of another place in St. Joseph to treat people that had epilepsy. Now, there wasn't really a well-known way of treating that was good, back in those days. And it's only been recently. My daughter has it, for example. My grandmother had it. But he had a clinic. Hi, Vivian. Thanks for all of you that are coming in. And he was treating people for epilepsy. Now, he had also his little snake oil, his little bottles of medicine that he was putting out there that had all kinds of interesting things in it. And one of the things we had done was we had found one of the old bottles, because the Patey House, which was the name of the place that he practiced in Missouri, St. Joseph, still had some of the old bottles with his face embossed on it. And so he was treating people, and he did so for a while. I mean, he had a whole floor of this very well-known building in St. Joseph that he was treating people for. Well, St. Joseph also had a press, and it was called the Pony Express Press, I believe. And this editor was no fool and caught on to what was going on there and wrote an article in the town newspaper, the city newspaper, and basically called him a quack. And that means like a not real doctor. And that was kind of the truth. So he didn't like that. And he was known to be a bit not arrogant, but I'm sure he probably was, but kind of eccentric. But he went down, he got in his horse and carriage and went down to the newspaper office, strode into the editor's office, and shot him dead in his seat, and then fled and abandoned his wife and family. Well, I didn't find out any of this, like I said, until much later. When I I moved in there when I was just practically born. I was maybe 1.5 to 2 years old. But this place was, I had this weird thing with the house. I loved it, but I feared it. It was the strangest thing. And this doctor, to backtrack a little bit, after he ran off, he was found much later living somewhere else, and he never really, went to prison for any of this. It just didn't, he kind of slid through. But this was his home, and he haunted it. It was him. Okay, there's just no two ways other to say it. He haunted it. I didn't know it at the time. I just knew that there was a malevolent feeling when I was being watched, like there was somebody not happy that we were there. And as a child, it was very confusing because you're thinking, what did I ever do? But I was picked on probably the most, and probably because I was the most open and the youngest, But he wasn't the only spirit that was there. Unfortunately, when he ran off and he left his family there to kind of face the music, one of his daughters ended up, sorry, I told you the allergies. One of his daughters, unfortunately, at some point did end up committing suicide in the house happened to be in the room that I ended up getting. The closet doors would open in the middle of the night, and I would just sit there terrified. I mean, now I think I know why I have sleeping problems. I think it really does go back to that. Anyway, so there was one Christmas I remember that my mom and dad were in bed. We were all in bed, and something, as always, just woke me up. And then I heard the shaking of like the jingle bells that we all hear around Christmas time. And it's just something was just right about it. Even as a little kid, I'm talking, there was a lot of things happening between the ages of 2 and 5. And it started to slow down when I was about age 7. But I sat up and I remembered I had my covers up like this, just the eyes. And I just felt creeped out. And then I thought, okay, maybe it's just Santa Claus. I was trying to like make myself feel a little bit better because it's Christmas time. We were expecting Santa Claus. And I hear the jingle of those bells really loud. And I just thought, this is weird. And so I just said, Santa Claus. And I heard nothing. It was complete silence. And I just pulled my covers over my head. And I just slept like that. The other thing with the doctor, who I believe was the malevolent one that liked to do this, that liked to pick on me, I'd have dreams of being slapped. And I'd wake up feeling like I'd been slapped. I believe that I was being slapped. Finally, one night, my dad was teaching night classes as an art professor. And I was like I said, just a little toddler, 1970s. And I was laying next to my mom on her bed, on my mom and dad's bed. Since he was off teaching class, mom just laid me down with her. And I was a mama's girl, so it's all right. It's like, oh, mom, yay. So mom and I fall asleep. And a little while later, I wake up and I sat straight up. And I just looked right forward in front of me. And there was almost like a hologram, but I could see straight through him. And he was not, I've seen spirits that are in color, so to speak, and some that look like mist and white. And he looked like faded, like mist and white. But make no bones about it, he was glaring at me and I'm just a little kid. I'm just like a toddler. And he scared the bejesus out of me because his eyes, I could see him from about waist up. Below his waist, it wasn't formed, but from about his waist up, you could see that he was wearing an old-fashioned button-down, kind of a long, very simple overcoat that had buttons, and he had a very full white beard and hair, and I could see his face really well. I could certainly see the look in his eyes really well because they were mean. And I thought, what? I was confused. And I just thought, who is this? Why are they looking at me like this? Again, this is the creepy feelings I would get in that house. It was him, I feel like, just watching us with, no great joy in his heart that we were there. He wanted us gone. And he just, like I said, and I just locked eyes there for a few moments. And I was just trying to figure out what he wanted. And what I could feel like telepathically was, it was like, you don't belong here. I just was like, I don't know what you want me to do. So I leaned over to wake up my mom like this. I'm turning. And as I was, twisting to shake my mom awake, I said, and I still remember, we talk about to this day, my mom and I said, Mommy, I said, who's that man that's in the corner of the room staring at us? My mom she woke up very quickly, and she scooped me up really fast, and she said, "Where?" And she ran over, and there was a corner in the room where there was two windows. You had one window of this wall and this one. They kind of came, and he had been standing right in this particular corner, but there was also a plant kind of nearby, and she pointed to the rubber tree plant, and I said, no, that's not it, Mom. It was. And I went on to explain what he looked like, and he had disappeared, and that was the only time I ever saw him physically manifest. But like I said, there was all a manner of other different phenomena experienced in that house, including door knockings, no one being there, sounds, dreams that were of falling over the stairs. My brother and I would have these dreams. It was a beautiful staircase, and there was a kind of a loft, a landing at the top of it. Like I said, it was a beautiful old house, and we used to love to play on those stairs. I wasn't afraid of them, but we would have dreams of being thrown over the stairs or just falling over it. And it was just so strange. My mom would see things. She saw a woman in long skirts. She could hear the swishing of the fabric of the skirt. I never saw that. I saw the doors and heard the doors opening in my room. I felt a real depressive air in there, and I do believe that that's where the daughter actually killed herself by drinking carbolic acid. Things people did back then. And that place also, we had a dog that would get out all the time. There was just, like I said, there was some nasty energies there, but it taught me very young about spirit, and that not every spirit is nice. And because when I was little, I talked to God and everything, but that was one of the stories, few of them, that I thought I would bring out there to you guys. There were things that happened elsewhere, but I'm going to see what Isadora has to say. So I'm going to shift on over to her share. Okay, Isadora says, while doing laundry, she heard a woman's voice say, "Hello." I said hello back, turned around, and no one was there. Oh yeah, that makes sense. That reminds me of another instance of strange thing. I don't know what it is to this day. I probably should throw my cards on it and see if I can figure, I had a bath, you guys, so my hair is kind of like everywhere here. Sorry about that. One time after I had my second daughter, my youngest, and she was just an infant, relatively, maybe within maybe 3 months old, maybe at the most, maybe just starting to sleep through the night. And then I had my oldest about the age of 3. She's about 3.5 years older. And, again, it's just one of these little things. Put her down for her nap, fed the youngest, the oldest, and then was washing up dishes. And I'm at the sink and I'm washing dishes. And, I'm a wheelchair user, so I'm in my wheelchair and I'm washing dishes. And all of a sudden, as I've got both of my hands in the sink, occupied washing, and I'm marking your comment, Ash, your share, as I'm washing dishes, and I'm busy, how it is when you're in mom or dad mode, or just you're in work mode, you're in chore mode, and getting stuff done. And all of a sudden I feel a hug, and I feel it come around my waist. Now the thing is, when I'm sitting in my wheelchair, I have the back of the wheelchair that is snug against my back. But I felt this hug like somebody was between me and the chair, like as if I was actually standing. And it was very sweet, and it felt like a little child. And I fully anticipated as I turned around and was saying, "Oh, hey, sweetheart," and I thought it was going to be my daughter, my oldest one, that was not laying down for the nap. That my youngest was a baby, so she was laying down for the nap. I thought it was my little one, because it felt like like a hug, like a toddler, like a 3 or 4 year old would give you, and it felt that sweet. And I just felt this really, and I was floored when there was nobody there, nothing. I had no words. All right, let's see, Ash. Isadora, did you ever hear any other voices? Was this a one-off event? Was this something that you would experience, let's say, other places that you lived? Or, I'm what I'm trying to get at is a lot of times we are just really good conduit, and whenever we go some places, we just kind of line up and we pick up on stuff. So I was just curious if this maybe, but some places, there's been things that have happened there, like where I grew up in St. Joseph, this house, very, very dramatic. So you want to share with me, and the rest, that'd be fine. Okay. Just the one time at this house. That's interesting. Was it, and you said it was a woman's voice, and obviously, if you thought that it had been a relative or somebody that whose voice that you recognized, you would have said so. But I take it was just a feminine voice. I'm just gonna pepper you with some questions, and feel free to answer. Okay. Do you think it was a guide, or are you just kind of like me, not really sure? Feel free, again, below. Go ahead and write it down. I'll go ahead and I'll get on to Ash. Okay. So he had a dream. I get dreams a lot too. Family of dreamers. I think there's so much running through this, the little wheels, that when I'm asleep, that's when I'm most receptive. Okay, so Ash is saying that he had a weird dream before. Went to sleep one night, and a woman who tried to involve me in an argument showed up in my dream. I didn't want to have any of it. So I decided to chase her away from my dream, while she ended up holding her hands in her face, crying because she didn't expect that to happen. Ooh, there's dreams like that where I think people really do kind of come into our psychic space. And that sounds like she didn't expect that you would know how to get her out of there. That's brilliant. Good for you. Good for you. So Isadora is saying that she wasn't really sure of whether she knew the voice or not, or maybe a guide. I think it's good, and I'm sure you probably didn't feel afraid when you heard it, because here's another story that I can share. Like I said, I get cycles, really active cycles, and then it dies down for years, and it seems like then things happen again. Let's see. Let's move forward in time with me, and my kids are now both in grade school. And I'm exhausted as usual. And I take them to school, drop them off. I come back home and I wasn't feeling that great. So I laid back down and I had like some kind of anxiety. And it was hard to shake. So I was like kind of grabbing some blankets and some pillows and just trying to kind of like make a cocoon for myself and just get myself to relax. I guess it would probably be kind of like that weighted blanket effect. And once I began to relax, I faded to sleep. But then I began to wake up because I heard, and I thought it was my husband that had come home from work, because the voice had an English accent and it was male. And the voice had a little bit of a huskiness like my husband's voice. And it was very simple. It was like they sensed that I had this anxiety that I'm talking about. And they said, Maya. And I heard this out loud. And like I said, I thought my husband was home. So I startled awake. And I continued to hear the voice, not in my head like telepathy, but out loud. One of the few times. And they said, this male said, is there anything I can do to help? And I said, yeah. The lotto, what are the numbers? No, I said, yeah. I said, just make sure my kids are safe, at school and when they're away. And I was just not feeling the greatest with how things were going in the world. And that was it. And I've never heard that voice since. In fact, I've pleaded for them to come back. But there you go. Don't know who that was. I think it was a guide, honestly. So you're saying no, never have been afraid of any encounters that you've had with spirit. I've only been afraid when I was little with this malevolent killer. He hadn't, transitioned on. Okay, so now Ash is saying another experience was my mom coming to my dreams before and comforting me and telling me not to cry for her or give up on life. You didn't tell me that. I don't know if I told you this, but she passed away back in March. Oh, God bless. And God bless her. That's really a beautiful experience that you had with, I feel like, her spirit coming to you in your dream and letting you know that she wants you to, take advantage of the life that you're here for, because we all come back together at the end. So, we don't really permanently, we never really lose anybody, they're watching us. It's just it's kind of like they're on like we're on a job, school here, Earth school, from what I can tell. And they're aware of what we're up to. That is amazing. Thank you for sharing that. So she frequently appears in your dreams, and she gave you a hug and told you that she'd be okay. Oh, she had kidney cancer. I'm so sorry. And it metastasized throughout her body. Oh, that must have hurt her. I'm glad she's not in pain any longer. It hurt me seeing her in that state. Yeah, that's a trauma, Ash. That's a trauma. It took me 3.5 months to finally stop crying over it. Sure, that's your parent, and that's that's a significant loss. So that's really amazing. Thank you for sharing that. Okay, let me just check here, see if there was any other shares here down that I may have missed? Well, God bless your mom. And I'm glad that she's not suffering anymore. And I'm glad that from this perspective, she can see that you need to go out there and take it, live your life, take advantage of opportunities and things. And that's really meaningful. And I'm so glad that she was able to come and comfort you. I've had a few dreams where people have come and comforted me. And that is priceless, because whenever you get to feeling poorly, you can always go back. Yes, prayers for you and your mom, Ash, and your dad, because I'm sure that not having his partner around is still a very hard transition for him too. That's really difficult. Oh, that's okay. Let it out. But still, I think it takes us a very long time to adjust to the fact that someone's transitioned and the change. I mean, we've had years and years of being used to them being here, right? And you can't be too hard on yourself, and it's okay. And I think the most blessed thing is that and that we can know that our loved ones are living their best life. They're living a life where they're more alive than we are, from what I've experienced. And it's more colorful, it's more vibrant. You're comfortable. You're not in a body, that's in pain. So that's, really important. Okay. Let's see. There was another experience I could share. Let's see. When I was living let me just share this. It was hard on your dad as well. Surprisingly, though, we've both grown a lot closer. We maintain a great relationship with each other. I'm really glad to hear that. I'm really glad to see that that's, happened. That's amazing. That's amazing. And I'm sure that it will take time, but it's good that you guys have each other, and that you've got each other, and you've got a better relationship than before. So that happens a lot, it can really bring people closer. And I'm really glad to know that has happened, at least. One of the one of the experiences I had where I was awake was in San Bruno, and I was probably about 18, and I was up late, and I was watching David Letterman, as I'll tell you at the time, and I was just spinning my chair around to go into the kitchen and get a snack. And I was not under the influence of anything, you guys. I mean, I was a party girl for sure, but I was not that night. I was, Sally sober. And I just went to go get a snack and turn around, and I came back. And as I'm spinning my chair, I'm turning, I'm shifting, and there's the hallway. And I see a calico cat that I can see through appears mid-step, floating above the ground, probably about, I don't know, like this much, and is continuing to walk like someone turned on a projector, or in these days, I'm giving away my age. These days we call it a hologram. I could see right through it, but the cat was in color. I said out loud, I said, I cannot believe what I am seeing. So then I just went on over to my mom's room really quick, because it just disappeared in mid-step. And I was a bit shaken up, because like, you're completely sober and you see these things and you're like, as I said out loud, I can't believe what I'm seeing. And so I went back to my mom, who was asleep, and I woke her up and I said, Mom, I just saw, I told her, and she really wanted to sleep. She really was not. She said, yeah, I see stuff out of my eyes, the corner, all the time. And she went back to sleep. So I just went back and I just thought, well, I guess I'm safe here, And I went ahead and I watched the rest of David Letterman, and I never saw another animal at that house, but I too would often see things out my peripheral vision, but I just thought that it was, playing of the light, on my eyes or whatever. And I did have a couple cats at the time, but they weren't this kind of calico. This cat looked a lot like my cat that I ended up being adopted by in Pacifica, but it wasn't her. I don't know why I saw this cat like this. I think sometimes we're just given these events to witness, and so to ponder and realize there's more to life. This earth is not the be all end all, that there's a lot more to existing. So I guess I will go ahead if anyone's here, and I'll go ahead and take yes, no questions. So yes, no questions. And if somebody comes in and you want to share anything, feel free. But for right now, I'm going to go ahead and try to switch this on over to the questions and just wait for people to come in. So wait a minute. Question, all caps. Okay, please. Her name is Misty. Absolutely, I'll take a look. Okay, let me just repin this, and then I will be happy to do that. Ash, I love it. Thanks for asking me. I'm honored. All right. What the Sam diddly doo-dah am I doing? Doo-dah, doo-dah, day. Replace the pin message. Okay, there we go. All right. Here we go, Ash. There we go. And this is fine. You don't, the yes, no question thing is just a way to simplify and streamline it so that I can read quickly, kind of, and, to a succinct point. But since this is kind of a small group, and it might just be me and you right now, it's fine. So let me just focus. Her name is Misty. Can you just let me know what zodiac sign she is? Because sometimes I'll get like a queen of whatever, and if I get more than one, it could be somebody else. So I kind of like to use that context to narrow down potentially the identity of people that may come up as a court card. Aaliyah. Excellent. That reminds me. Oh no, I did. My stepmom, I needed to send her a gift for her birthday, but I did. I don't know. These days, as I get closer and closer to the great age of 57, which is very young in my opinion, my brain, I think I'm going to start using the mushroom, the lion's mane and stuff that people take, to help me with memory and all of that. Okay. I know it sounds weird, but when I have this little chitty chat before I jump in, it helps me. Just to kind of relax so that I can dial in. because it's hard to keep my mind on a stream, very, technical, and then be very intuitive. I don't know that I'm very good at being no, I can be good analytically, but I tend to have to compartmentalize. I know what you mean. I felt that way too, Ash. I don't feel 57. It's like, I feel maybe 47. I'm glad. Well, I really like getting older, though. I just don't like the body falling apart. If we could just take the, the positives, that would be so awesome. But anyway, it's all for a reason. Misty. I would like to ask if Misty, Ash's mom, has a message for him. I'm just going to try and relax and allow her to, and her guides and mind, us all to work together to help me to read these cards. Okay, Miss Misty. What would you like to share with Ash, your son? Okay, let's see what we get. I think I'm ready. I'm always, sorry guys, don't have the greatest pillows for my back here. All right, well, look at this. We're getting the 2 of Cups and the 3. Okay, now I'm feeling like this is the work. She's bringing up like work that you're doing, and I'm feeling like she's with you. I also feel like she might be speaking about a new partnership or friendships coming in through working with other people, perhaps, in the artist community, with the work of music and so on, because it's like these 3 folks each have their own specialty. And this is kind of like an example of architecture, and they're all 3 kind of coming together and giving their input to make this one beautiful thing even better. So it's people coming together, working as a team. And she's really bringing up the team close-knit energy here and it being healthy. So I feel like she's talking about the projects that you're working on with other people. And it looks like good people. It looks like to her, there's something super positive. I'm going to mark your question, Dora, Isadora. Calling you that for short without your permission. I'm sorry. It's funny because I'm getting ready to make new music with people. No kidding. Looky. Well, you know what else? This is her way, not to sound like John Edwards, but this is her way of confirming, giving us a detail that I had no way of knowing, that she can make you know, hey, I know what's going on here. I know what's, I'm watching you. So you're going to be working with other people, and it feels very artistic, very people that have different expertise. And you've talked with 2 other guys and you're planning something big. This looks really good, Ash. Let's pull another couple cards with what Mom might have to say. Peace of mind with the 4 of, okay, she's also talking about resting, maybe now, because activity is going to begin to accelerate and pick up. This is going from a definite place of rest, sometimes from healing. And I'm sure with her passing, that's going to take what it's going to take, years. It's never the same. But I think we just get more used to the idea that they're not here where we can go visit them, But she's showing me this is peace of mind, this is healing, this is rest, and this is activity. So I would say it might be, given the other cards, enjoy your rest now, because once you get going, it's going to move very quickly. And I'm getting shown the Four of Cups and the Five of Swords. This can be someone that's not very connected and who might just like to control stuff or kind of be a problem. Now, I'm sure that, when you're out there working with different people, you're likely to come across this. But it shows a lack of connection. And it almost feels like a jealousy when I look at this. I don't know. So just tuck this away. But I'm getting kind of like someone that doesn't feel that as connected, and they kind of bully other people. And I think try to make them feel disheartened. And don't allow that to happen if there's somebody that you come across that's like that. I feel like she's saying. Stay with people that have good ethics and morals, and you're going to succeed. You'll overcome with the Chariot by sheer will and determination. Good choices, good decisions in the way you go forward, using just basic morality and the things that you learn along the way. Because, the creative, the arts, you can get some pretty harsh people in there. I'm definitely going to enjoy it. Yes. Oh, you start college again on the 19th. Okay, that's what she's talking about then. It looks like it gets very busy for you. So she's going to want you to, go take it slow. Take it slow. Baby yourself. Because, it looks like you'll have to deal with some people that are also hard to deal with. Could be another student at school, but I see you dealing with it. Just know where it's coming from. And it's coming from a place of jealousy because they don't feel connected. They don't feel tuned into something. Maybe it's a creative flow that they don't feel connected to or tuned into, or a group of people or whatever. You know how people can be. So make sure that you eat well and sleep well. Go to bed early when you can. Eat fresh vegetables. I know, I sound like a mom, but that's when you said you wanted to know. So she's going to tell you that. Take care of yourself. Let's see what else Misty might have to say. And then we're going to pop over and see what I think it was Isadora. Oh, yes. Isadora's question will be next. And just whoever else might pop in, we're just going to take it easy because it's a easygoing Sunday night. And I'll just kind of take note of people's interest and do accordingly. And some lives are like that. It's okay. I'm not one of those people that has, and I'm, like I said, I'm kind of grateful, although I would like a few more people than what I have right now. I just think I kind of worry that if I ever got that big, it would be really harder for me to do it on my own, to manage it all on my own. Okay. There's me blowing off steam. Okay. Misty, anything else? Anything else you want to share with your son? I'm telling you, this weeks and weeks of fog here is making me crunchy. All right. Okay. Oh, okay. We are talking about the death card and about heartbreak, and healing, release with this card. And it's an end of suffering. that's being brought up here. Okay, what else is she bringing me? Again, this is Misty. This is the past, and this is childhood and nostalgia. And I think it's still going through the process of grieving. You're going to be thinking about memories of the past, especially through childhood and school and experiences. And it just looks to me like there might be a bit of, when we lose someone, we can kind of experience a homesickness for the time that we can't have again. That was the past when they were here. You know what I mean? But that she's off on a new adventure. And so are you. But I feel that this is her. And she's got an eye on you, but she is going to be off on her new adventure. She's not suffering anymore. To let go of the past and to realize that her suffering is in the past. And that she's fit as a fiddle now. And she's ready and rearing to go. Look at her. So, look, and you're getting the Empress card, the Mother card. Oh, and she's given the world. She completed her life, and she is free. So, and she'll always be your mother. She'll always be looking after you. And I think at the end, at your end, she's saying, she'll be there. And that no matter where you are, she's there. Because now she doesn't have the limitation of a body. I'm just kind of picking that up. Okay? I hope that's helpful. I feel like she really wanted to convey that. Now let's go to Isadora's question about her friend, Joanne. Again, I'm going to get a little sip. All right. Let me do a little, you know what? Maybe, let's see, should I use a different deck for Joanne? No. I'll use this deck and then I'll use another deck because we'll really do a deep dive for Joanne since it's just a small group of us this evening. Okay. Is that all right? Okay, let me look at the live again. That's great, Ash. I'm glad that you're mending. I'm doing the same thing. I had, and I might bring that up later at another live or another point where I'm chatting with you all. But here recently, with some eerie stuff, I had, when you get the urge suddenly out of nowhere to look somebody up that you used to know, that kind of thing, when you were little kids and you grew up with, and you think, I wonder whatever happened to them. And you do, and you find out oh my God, they've passed. And I'm actually right at near the anniversary of their passing or their birth date or their death date. That happened to me. And it's really weird. And I got a lot more information about how this person, unfortunately, kind of went down a bad road in life. It was unfortunate. That led to their demise. But it was not just that. It was other things too this weekend that I was looking up, and there were little synchronicities. And it's just okay, we're doing that again, And I'm really glad that writing music has helped you so much. Yes, so therapeutic. And to get the sound out, I think that's so beautiful. That is one thing I wish I had done, was maybe I can still do it, voice training. I always loved to sing. Wasn't a good singer, though. All right, Joanne. I think we've given these a darn good shuffle now. Isadora and Joanne. Do you have a message for Isadora, your friend? Joanne. All right, let's see what we get. I feel like I'm ready. Okay, I'm getting the Emperor. And I'm getting a very healing Four of Swords again, and a peace of mind. Now, this could be a father figure or a husband, because the Emperor is typically an authority figure, father, like I said, husband, dad. Well, that's what a father is, right? But I feel like she's bringing up a male figure here that would be older, more established. And she's talking about at peace or at rest or healing. This is oftentimes a card that I'd get if I need have something that's going to take a while to kind of heal or kind of recalibrate. It can also be just about peace of mind with the swords, the mental energy. And for me, I feel like it's about peace. A man that is at peace. An older gentleman. I don't know who Joanne would be referring to. I feel like it's obviously somebody that's almost pulled my earring off. I hate that. I feel like that's someone. Isadora, you poor thing, you probably fell asleep. Somebody get smelling salts and wake Isadora up. Where are you, girl? There was a need to make a decision here, to do something, and but waiting for an opportunity. I'm not quite sure what that means. But I see very peaceful cards. It's interesting, he gets 2 2s, so there's a double number there. And whenever you get a double number, pay attention. Yeah, maybe my late husband. Okay, that makes sense. Now, I don't know if he's telling, it feels like peace. It feels like being at peace or talking about healing or rest, but really something that would, no matter what, it just not being worried, not being troubled. And I'm not sure why that would matter, but I'm being shown that. And there is waiting to take action on something, waiting to take up an opportunity. Sometimes I think when I get these cards that they are waiting for the best opportunity to approach us or to reach out to us, let's say through dream or through an idea. And this kind of gives me a similar feeling, that he is waiting for some kind of the 2 and the 3 of wands are kind of weird to me, because they're kind of carry a similar meaning of opportunity and the future, looking forward. You know, here you can see they're looking forward. The world is in their hands. They're just kind of waiting with an awareness, a watchfulness. And then the 3 of wands is where it's further expansion of this. That they've had the opportunity, now they're expanding upon the opportunity. So I'm not quite sure what this is about. But I feel, thank you, Comfort at the Crossroads. Let's just see if I don't figure it out as I go along. Well, you know what? That 2 of swords can also be about peace, a truce. But also just, again, I'm feeling kind of a stationary energy with that 4 of swords and that 2 of swords. And then kind of a waiting energy for the opportunity. I don't know if is this to incarnate or there's waiting, not going to do something quite yet, but waiting. Sorry about that. Not my best. Oh, again, I'm getting a card of watchfulness, observation. Can also be a message, and it's a hopeful one when you're going through a rough time. So it could mean that this is something that is coming ahead and that he wants to share with you. Sorry, I think my oldest is coming home. If you hear the front door coming open and banging, that's probably who it is. But here we're getting a message, and it looks like a spiritual heavenly message that's coming. I feel like he's waiting for the right time to tell you. Maybe it's because he wants to make sure that it's going to bring you peace of mind, because this does denote that we're going through a dark time and we're relying on the light of the star, of source, of spirit, to kind of get us through the difficult ground that we're dealing with. And it is a card of hope. So if there are some sometimes when I get this, it's also kind of letting us know there could be some difficult things on the horizon. Don't worry. It's going to work out. Maybe you won't be jumping right into doing something. You might have to hold off, or something along those lines. There's something financial and a change. Could be a change of job, or there's money that brings a change. It could be like the beginning. I don't know. Sometimes this can be like a settlement or a smaller amount of money that more comes, like payments or stuff like that. Or it could be the beginning of a new job, the start, because it is an ace. So this is interesting. And this change in one's financial or material circumstance, with like job or receiving some kind of money, creates a change with the Wheel of Fortune. And so it looks like you're going to go through a tight kind of time, if that makes sense. And he's just saying, don't freak out. You're going to get through it, and things will change. And it looks like maybe some money will arrive that was, needed, or something along those lines. Yeah, look, something that may not have gone through. I almost feel like maybe there was an error, or something didn't get processed. Maybe a payment. I don't know. But keep it in mind that if something that really kind of makes your stomach churn comes up stress-wise, that it's going to work out. Okay. He had money from a former job that you just found out about. Well, there might be a little bit of some things that hoops that you have to jump through. I don't know. But don't worry. It looks like you will get it. However, I feel like it's not without, of course, without some kind of like trying challenge of some kind. But he's with you, and he wants you to know that it's going to work out. I hope that's helpful. And thank you for confirming, so I don't go completely bananas. Okay, comfort at the crossroads. My Baba, grandma, was my grandma's house haunted? It always felt scary, but it could have just been her. Well, you know what? People often say that. And I think it's because, and this just came to me, but as our loved ones get older, and as we get older, and I think we come closer to the veil, so to speak, and we kind of can get that spooky other realm bleeding over kind of feel. And often they've lived in a house for a while. You're welcome. My pleasure, Isadora. I'm really glad to see that he's able to give you advice that it looks like, hey, don't worry. All right, so let's see, Grandma's house. Let me just focus in. We'll do this really well here. Let's shuffle this up. And thank you, you guys, for coming and hanging out with me. My little group. I always love having my Sundays with y'all. If you would, please be so kind to give me a thumbs up. I'd appreciate it. It helps my algorithm, and it is helping, you guys. I'm gradually getting there, picking up some more subscribers when YouTube doesn't take them away. All righty. But I have found lately that other, a few different channels that I subscribe to, like some true crime and whatnot, and like some music that I like Lana Del Rey. I have to keep resubscribing. I think that after certain channels reach so many, sometimes that there's a kind of a limit, and where you can just, it bounces your subscription or something. I don't know. It's strange. Okay. Grandma's house. Let's connect to your ancestors, a grandma, and let's ask our guides. Is that house a portal? Because, there's portals all over. And I think certain places more so than others sometimes. Especially if you have somebody there, let's say, that has sensitivity. Like if your grandma was a sensitive. Let's see what I get. On Baba's house. Was Baba's house haunted? Was Baba's house haunted? Was her Baba's house haunted? Let's see what we get. Let's see if I'm... There was. Looks like there was a woman that may have been stuck. Oh, but I also think this could be your grandmother having some kind of sensitivity as a Queen of Cups. But with the Eight of Swords, this feels like maybe she didn't quite know how to switch it off or how to handle that. There's something, there is something, some activity. And I think that she's kind of the light, kind of that draws the moths, and that's the way it is when people have, and everybody, by the way, I don't care what people say, we all have this capacity within us. It's just a matter of us not becoming so enamored and so distracted by this world that we kind of lose the foot in the other. And this makes me feel like she's a sensitive, but she didn't know or wasn't sure how to exercise or free herself from some kind of limitation. All right, sorry, going to put my big old mitts all over the place. She was very Queen of Swords to you. This could just be, now we can get all kinds of different court cards for different aspects of herself. She could be very, very much a Queen of Swords, but this could just represent her sensitivity. It could also be that this is a different woman that was stuck and in the house. Now, if you especially had seen any kind of feminine energy or a feel of feminine energy, I would say this is probably then a case of perhaps an actual person that may have been stuck and didn't fully transition. Let's see what other cards we get. I like to keep a broad, spectrum until I start to really see other cards laid down and maybe cinch it up for me. Yeah, you know what? I'm thinking this is a woman that stayed there. And I think there was some depression because it may be a sweetheart or a lover, may have been waiting for someone to propose that didn't. I don't know why I want to say that, but it looks like she's waiting for some kind of an offer, and there's heartbreak. And often when I get this Knight of Cups, like for me, when I was going to get married, this was one of the cards I saw with my husband, that he was going to be approaching with me with an offer. So I'm wondering, it just feels like when I look at these cards of this woman here that I'm seeing that's kind of stuck somewhere, I feel like she's stuck because of some kind of heartbreak or sorrow to do with an offer or a romantic advance that someone may have approached her with. This is often a very romantic character, kind of a player. That is sad. It is. I hate it. You know what? I hate it. And I really don't like, I gotta say, when we're watching a lot of these shows, I don't watch them really anymore because I think they're a lot of crap, but some of them, a lot of them put on stuff. But I just think it's not, you want to help people to move on. You want to try to help them to be comfortable and realize if they don't know that they can call out, ask for help, whatever. Let's see what else we get. So I'm feeling like there's probably a relationship issue that she had a broken heart over. Let's see. Knight of Wands. There is a feeling of longing and maybe waiting for something that never came. But there's an enthusiasm for something that I believe was some kind of opportunity, I think, for her life, to expand her life. And maybe this especially was a individual that, your life would change if you were going to get married or engaged. It feels very romantic. This night doesn't feel like it's a business offer. This feels more like a romance, or as a very emotionally based offer with that cup. And then, thinking about this, we get these wands. This is enthusiasm. This is a bit of anxiety, a bit of wanting to get going, but kind of hurry up and wait. Maybe someone said, let's get married, and then something happens to them. It could be as simple as that. But I feel, let's see what else we get. Again, look at this. It shows blocks. And a block toward a choice, again, about living a very comfortable lifestyle, or even a well-to-do lifestyle. There's no decision. I don't know, was someone waiting for someone to propose and they never did? Again, I'm not really clear. I almost feel like, well, is this one of those cases where someone goes off to war and I don't know, maybe they don't come back from something? And so it's kind of almost like this offer is on hold. It never comes to fruition. That's really, and look, this is the card on the bottom. So again, we're talking about a relationship, a close relationship of some kind. Does that make any sense? Comfort at the crossroads. Did you pick up any energy there that was feminine? It's almost like I said, let me see what else I get on that. Was this woman has this woman's spirit transitioned? Have the spirits or spirit at her grandmother's home, have they transitioned? I like to know that. I'm not sure. I felt more just people watching. Yeah. I'd say it was probably this female because she's the first one that comes up. So she might be the most dominant that's there. Let's see what else we get. This is intriguing. Okay. Have the spirits that were there transitioned? Have any of the spirits that may have been there transitioned? What do we need to know? Please and thank you, Holy Spirit. And guides and ancestors. You know, I almost feel like they don't know that they passed, that they can move on out of the suffering and into the light. But I think that, because look at that again, this is interesting. Now, note the darkness and the pillars of light and dark here and being in between. She's in between realms. I feel like in between the end and probably the void and the light itself. I mean, the body is kaput, it's done. So this is interesting. And I almost feel like, did she not know that she passed? I think so. She might still be stuck in the mind thinking of that they're waiting for this, caught up in this relationship that they were so had their in mind. And I really do think like it feels like a woman that was hoping for a romantic approach and kind of it just never manages to happen. I like this though. But after a long spell, after a long time with that night of the slow moving night of Pentacles, we get the sun. And to me, this is the light of God. This is the source. This is, you want to say Jesus, for some folks, this is going into the source. So I feel that there was a delay, but eventually I feel like the energy shifts to source. But it takes a while. It's slow. Yeah. Look, the delay card again with the Hanged Man and the Magician, as above, below. So I feel like eventually this person, this being is shifted from that state. But it takes, I think, Earth time a while. And I believe firmly that we can pray for those that are stuck between realms, because it does happen. Unfortunately, people get confused, and it's really up to them to release themselves from their own fear, or to call out to God or divine help. And sometimes people just are not ready to do that. But it looks like this feminine energy will eventually do that. It looks like they transition eventually, but it takes a long time. Let's see if we can figure out if there was any other spiritual energies there besides this lady. Is there anyone else that was there at her grandmother's home? I'm glad to see that it looks like the lady will be released from her state of heartbreak. I almost think like it just contributed to her dying of a broken heart kind of thing. Okay, but let's take a look at that land, so to speak, that ground of your grandmother's home. Anyone else? I think it's definitely there have been ones there, but they've been cleared with that Ace of Swords and overcome challenges, and I think welcomed on the other side. So it's interesting. It feels very clear. Look, there's help that has come for those that I think were trapped there. I'm getting that card again. Well, this time's different, but this could be maybe from the other side. There's a feminine energy that's helping. Yeah, look, the Hermit and again the Magician. I feel like looking for them, finding those that have kind of the sheep that have gone astray, so to speak, that have gotten stuck. And communication, talking to them, getting them, and bringing them back. Yeah. That's interesting. So let's see. I want to make sure if I got everybody's questions. I'm still good to read if anyone has any more questions. That might be coming along. I'll give it a few moments and I'll shuffle a little bit. I will be doing a couple of true crime videos that I'm looking forward to doing. I couldn't do it this weekend, but this week I should be able to. All right. If you have any more questions, let me put that banner back up. Feel free to ask. I'm going to let this run a little longer. Feel free to, ask about whatever. I'm just going to clear this deck. And I'll just ask, thank you so much. I'll have to research, the history. I'm not, but I would be more than happy to throw some cards down for you and just send you a short, quick reading. Comfort at the Crossroads if you want. It's just that I never know how my energy is going to be. And I don't like to let people down, and I have to, be pretty flexible. But if you really wanted a reading from me, I'd be happy to. So let me know. And my email is MayaMurphy68 at Gmail. It's in the description box. Usually, probably not so much in the lives, but no, it is. Is it? I'll make sure. I need to go back and make sure it's in there. It's in other description boxes on videos. In general, I try to make sure that that's in there so that if people want to donate or they want to contact me, they can. Sure. Nell, that's right. I'm horrible with names. I hope you'll forgive me for that. All right, let's just see what Spirit wants to share with those of us here. What do those of us right now that are right here and that will watch this, what is a unique message for us from Spirit? I would appreciate it for all of us. And I guess I'll just wrap out this live with that and see what we get. And just kind of bring this live to a close by asking for Spirit to give me a message for all that are watching and participating now or later in this live. What is a specific message for them to keep in mind? That would be helpful. And myself. Well, this shows the approach or an offer. And sometimes with this King of Pentacles, it can be business or work related, investments, money, that kind of thing. Could be job offers, investment advice. I'm getting like legal advice for some reason. I'm feeling all like a lawyer that, to do with estates and inheritance and things like that. I'm getting a message about offers, especially money oriented. Like I said, job, financial, and this is interesting. Then we get a Queen and a King of Swords. This is about clarity. So be clear about any offers that you might be approached with, whether it's investing or mortgages or what have you, pay, money, things like that. There is a need for clarity, and I just feel like no surprises. Things have to be transparent with the King and the Queen of Swords. And I feel like this is the attitude to take with this King of Pentacles. All right. Could be a male and a female. And it looks like, too, we're getting a message, again, of a difficult cycle that ends. And it could be like anyone that's been going through a really harsh cycle. This shows promise. This shows the rainbow that comes out after the storm and like a reset. This is to help one to let go of people and things and attitudes in our life that no longer serve us, that maybe never served us. And if you can see, this is a gesture of peace. This person is releasing this horrid suffering, and they are at peace. They are releasing, they are letting go. And they are experiencing then the fullness of the rainbow, the Skittles and the rainbow. So this is when it brings me to mind of the saying that, hard times don't last, but, strong people do. And I think it's a reminder that this too shall pass, and there is something brighter and lighter that is yet to come onto the forefront, but it's ready to. And it just feels like we have to kind of go through this process of letting go of a lot of difficult things and circumstances that really drain us, try us, and so that we can receive and have the freedom to be more open and receptive for what's real joy, real sense of satisfaction with that 10 of Cups, and in family and the close-knit relationships that we have, those that we consider family. If sometimes our chosen family versus the family that we have for many people is what is true family for them. And I just feel like there is support here. I feel like people going from a place of where they felt alone and in the dark and going through a lot alone, feeling like they've got that support. They've got like-minded, caring people around them. So I think that there's a shift coming, that there is a shift coming. And to remember that if you've been going through it, let's say for years, this is the 10 of Swords is kind of the card that I think you could get for stuff that's been going on for a while. And it feels like a really tough cycle that ends and opens up to like a beautiful new time and cycle of that's better, that is not as stormy and dramatic, you know? It's calm. I'm also getting new adventures and growth, a new cycle of exploring. I think there's a male energy here that has sensitivity with that King of Cups. So if there's any men watching this, I feel like the message for you is working on new adventures that where you're able to express yourself more creatively. That's you, Ash. And that's also emotionally with that King of Cups, because the water is emotion and spiritual connection. And there's definitely a new path. But there's a need to watch that when we do something new, that we don't go, too quickly, because we can miss the step here and fall off the cliff. So we need to pay attention to what's going on, starting with a new cycle. And pay attention to your intuition and value it. Yeah, look at this again. They're talking about the baggage of relationships and that those that need to be released. Any relationships that use guilt, so on and so forth, this is about letting it go. You cannot have a relationship that way when you're too busy being overburdened. So quality in relationships that are give and take and not just all take. And being free. What else are we getting? We're getting more family again, and we're getting nurturing and perhaps even inheritance in some cases for people. So look after yourselves. This is all about family and extended family. And I'm getting a lot about family money. I don't know why. More things about money and giving financial help or assistance. Working really hard, though, with that Seven of Pentacles. So even though you're working hard, you might have to ask for help, and it's okay to ask for help. If you find yourself in that position, don't be too ashamed to ask for help. It looks like people want to help, and it's an honor for people to help us because it gives them a chance to do something really beautiful and selfless. Yeah. So it looks like, we're dealing with a lot of financial ups and downs, but that stability long term, I believe, will be had, but it's going to take a lot of probably some time and focus. Kind of tedious stuff, but it ends up being okay. It's there. You're all right. Yes. Again, the message of chaos, of people fighting or arguing or being difficult, and then the mixture of temperance, of using self-control, taking the higher road, bringing this chaos to balance through various means, and about being patient, especially people that push our buttons. Okay? All right, you guys. I guess that's it. Yep. Victory and the Ace of Swords. So you'll come through. So if there's financial issues that you've been worried about, It does take some attention. It looks like you'll be all right. It looks like to ask for help, especially. Don't be too proud for that. And that difficult cycles are ending. So just keep in mind, this too will pass. The light's going to come back out. There's growth that is yet to happen. You might think it's the end, but it's not. It's just the end of a difficult cycle. So keep that in mind, you guys. All right? I hope that's helpful. Anyway, if nobody else has any more questions, I'm going to go ahead and close it and say thank you all very much for coming across and asking me questions. And I'll see you in the next live. And I should have at least one of my true crime videos out this week. So I'll see you later. Thanks, guys. You make my time on here so much fun. I really do mean that, and I appreciate it. Bye. Make sure to give me a thumbs up if you'd be so kind. And I'll see you in the next video.